beast, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to Undrafted Uncensored, where, sometimes there's a really good thing about the Rocky season ending, and that's the sales.
I see you full of the final edition of the City Connect.
So I walked into the dry goods after I watched Charlie get his final base hit of his career, and I walk in and they have signs all around that City Connect jerseys, $99 or $99.99. I was like, nice. I like me a City Connect. I think I can handle one more. And so I walk over to the rack, and they have the authentic ones, and they have the replicas. And I think to myself, do I want to ask this question right now? Because we already know the answer. Is the $100 for the 130 originally priced, or the 225 originally priced? I still had to ask. So I went and asked, and the dude's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the replica ones. I'm like, I figured. So I go and I purchase a couple polos and a pair of shorts. They were buy two, get one item free. Again, I love a good deal. So I walk out of the store, and I forgot to go to the kiosk that they have with all the baseballs and the hats and jerseys and all that. I don't know why I go over there. Every time I go over there, I'm not going to buy anything.
Yeah.
Unless something really stands out. So they had Hartford Yard Goat jerseys.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I could really go for a Yard Goat jersey, but those are City Connects right there. Those are player City Connects for $125.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, okay, I'm buying one now. So, yep. Player issued Colorado Rockies City Connect jersey, 131 after tax, but
of course, but
I mean, well worth it.
I might have to make a trip down there in the next 2 days and see.
Yeah,
those are the sweet ones. So who'd you get?
Nobody. It's blank.
I thought it was a player jersey or whatever.
No, it's the player. It's the ones they give the players, or they issue the players.
Oh, but there's nobody.
It doesn't have. There's nobody on it. No.
Oh.
And I'm not letting them do the iron-on name on this.
No, it should already. I guess that's why it's on sale, but that's lame. It should have somebody on it. If you could have gotten a Chuck Nasty City jersey, come on, that would have been sweet. They would have sold like hot. Why were they not doing the shitty iron-on thing themselves the last couple of days?
Oh no, they were, dude. They had a line.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they had a
line of people buying blank jerseys.
Okay.
And getting in line and having them made. See, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the official. Yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna say they probably had the. They probably had a bunch of nasties getting ironed on.
Yep. Just
yeah. There was you couldn't walk by that stand outside Diamond Dry Goods without 4 people standing there picking up jerseys that were being made, and most of them were Charlie.
Yeah, and I'm sure that once some of this dies down, there will be some more available for resale because the Rockies in typical fashion probably brought way too many of them.
Yeah.
and at one point they're going to be like, get rid of them all now.
But honestly, is that not the best alternate jersey of honestly any of the local sports teams in a very long time? The Nuggets haven't had anything close. I guess the 70s Broncos ones are fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's probably the
Nordiques.
I like the Avs with the Colorado across the front.
Oh, the Nordiques. You're right. The Nordiques one is pretty sweet.
No, that one's terrible. The Nordiques.
You're terrible.
The Colorado terrible. Across the front is dumb.
I don't remember that one. So,
yeah, the Nordiques.
I guess I'm with Colin because I can't remember
retro. It's dope. The Nuggets white City Connect ones or whatever they were called.
With the rainbow.
Yeah, Skyline, whatever.
It was the red outline of the lettering. Yeah, those weren't bad, but no, those Rockies Colorado license plate looking jerseys, those are fucking sweet. Especially for changing the color scheme, which is really just baseball and basketball mostly. The Nordiques ones I think still kept the burgundy and blue, but it's just sweet. It's better than the Rockies.
Yeah, we'll get into the Rockies here in a little bit. Colin's
Yes, we will.
happy. But let's start with the first sloppy second win. I mean, that was. I mean, a win's a win.
It was sloppy.
I watched what I could, and I watched highlights afterwards. Obviously, I went to go take in Charlie's last game. The defense made me proud because they lost basically their captain, and they didn't look like they lost a beat. They were in Rogers' kitchen all afternoon, and I love it.
Hot and fresh.
And it's starting to look like. I mean, if the Broncos can get Bo Nix to even be decent in the next couple of years, it's going to be like 2015 all over again. The defense is going to carry the Broncos to the playoffs.
I wouldn't go that far, but they're definitely really good, and it's a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, it's they need to score points. They need to be able to do something because you can't expect to hold the other team to 16 points again.
Or 7.
But yeah, or 9 in this case. But yeah, dude, it's really fun to watch, but at the same time, it's infuriating to watch because you've seen them be able to do some things, and again, the rain had a big play on it, and the Jets just have a very good defense. They're a much better defense than the Buccaneers, even healthy. Like if the Buccaneers were healthy, the Jets are still a much better defense than the Buccaneers are. So it's impressive that they were able to do anything against it, but at the same time, like, man, they've got to find ways to move the ball, and I'm going to keep praying for my guy Bidet.
Yeah, I was gonna say we saw a lot of injuries this week. I know Bidet was one, Rasheed Rice, and I mean with that, speaking of prayers, everybody out east who's dealing with the aftermath and everything like that of Helene. I mean, thoughts, everything goes out to them. I know I have a lot of family out there. I was telling you guys that I was messaging my uncle about that, and he was fine. But I know one of my aunts got hit; they're okay, but. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on out there on the East Coast. And, football is a great way that we can escape. And unfortunately, we didn't escape everything because of the injuries that did happen in this game. I mean, we finally saw Javonte Williams get a 10-yard rush. Julian McLaughlin got over 10 yards on a rush. There were moments, and there was a time right before I got to my baseball game this afternoon. I was like, damn, I should have bet this is a no touchdown game. I did not expect the way. I mean, Sutton caught a touchdown, so I'm glad I didn't. But I did not expect this game to go like this.
Yeah.
When you think of Aaron Rodgers and what he does and has done to defenses over his career, it's typically find the open man and carve them up. And the Broncos defense didn't leave open men out there to catch the ball. They stifled Breece Hall at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I mean, all around, like, Breece Hall has been a Bronco killer. Maybe this is just a result of the Broncos not being good for a while and these guys taking them lightly and not realizing that they're not coming to play. But I really think that it's a lot of the Broncos are actually a damn good defense. And they're giving opportunities to the offense, Joe. You said it earlier. The offense needs to start doing something. I mean, Nick, you did too. But Joe said it more recently. So I remember that better.
Recency bias.
This Broncos offense, man, after you think they found something last week, what the hell? What the hell is going on? And I know they have a good defense. I know it was raining, but once running the ball started to work, why didn't you do that more? Why can't they find any sense of continuity there? There's just it's week after week of the same crap. And now it's beginning to look a lot more like the offense. Last week was the odd man out for this season. We probably won't see that again. That was the Dallas, 50-point game of 4 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was the outlier.
Yeah, and I hate it because for a rookie quarterback to have to set the record, he set the record for the most pass attempts with the lowest amount of yards in a win.
Yeah, you're
Like,
welcome, John Elway.
since since whatever.
John Elway did it, yeah.
It's
Wow.
unreal. And in the NFL, it's been since like 2000.
Yeah.
That's the lowest amount of passing yards with that many passing attempts and to get a victory. It is.
In this game or the Buccaneers game?
No, this game.
This game.
So 25 attempts was
to have that many attempts and that few yards and to win the game.
Okay. Yeah, I guess because
like
how many yards did he have? It was like
68.
100. Oh,
No,
68.
Yes.
That's great. I remember seeing the 25 attempts because we were talking about that on the postgame show of like how indicative that was of the Broncos offense not doing much. So I looked at the 25 pass attempts. I was like, oh, hey, that's the formula. Don't make him throw it a whole bunch. I didn't look at the 68 yards.
No.
That's Tim Tebow numbers.
Let me make sure.
4 pass attempts. No, I believe you.
No, 60. 12 for 25 for 60.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
And he ran the ball for 3 yards. So he accounted for 63 yards of the Broncos offense. I mean, it's like I said, I don't know. I mean, I'm scratching my head and like rubbing my face because I just don't know what to do with this team. It annoys me because this is another case of this defense playing so good, and in a game where you should have put 20 points on the board because of turnovers, because of field position, and you couldn't do anything. And like I said, I'm trying to give a little bit of leeway and grace because it's a rookie quarterback, and you have a lot of young players.
But it's not a rookie head coach.
Yes. It's not a rookie head coach, and Sean Payton is not putting the offense, which he should be a mastermind of, in positions to win games. He's putting them in positions to barely or to not lose them. I don't even want to say that. He's putting them in position to actually lose games because he's putting everything on the defense, and the offense isn't doing anything to win any of these games. Once again, besides the outlier that was last week. But even if you look at last week, they didn't need all those points because the defense played so good. So
yeah, he's setting up the defense to win, not the offense.
Yeah, and I'm very fearful of what's to come because we also have the history of, you know, looking back at last year with Jordan Love. Teams kind of started to figure him out for a little while, and then he went on the run a little bit later in the season. Not to bring up bad memories, but Drew Lock played 5 games, looked pretty good, and then what happened? Defenses figured him out the next year. I mean, I don't think he studied or practiced as much as Bo Nix, but either way, defenses still figured out what he was doing, and he didn't evolve, and the offense didn't evolve. So
they changed the offense. They had to get a different coordinator every year. So all the teams had to do was figure out what are Drew Lock's little idiosyncrasies that he causes problems with, because the scheme doesn't matter. We can see his footwork is terrible.
And have they figured out all of Bo Nix's stuff? I mean, like I said, I know it was raining and I kind of want to give a pass because of the rain, but I can't give a pass to the offense with what they did. Like I said, 60 passing yards.
But I mean, we've seen games like that before. The Patriots had a game where they didn't pass the ball at all because it was snowing. So I mean, you have to consider. And I mean, my brother comments here on our chat. Both offenses look terrible today. I'm chalking it up to circumstance to see what next week looks like. I mean, he's got a good point. This is bad weather. This is a cold, misty rain in New Jersey. And I mean, if you know how amazing that feels on your skin.
I do. It feels great. I want to go back.
So, I mean, we want more growth, but at the same time, we do have to, like you said, extend a little grace too, because the weather's not an excuse, but at the same time, we've seen terrible football in bad weather. And so sometimes those are the cards you're dealt.
Yeah. And I think I think so. That's your brother. Also great name, Camels and Penguins. I love that. Just put 2 random animals together and call it your YouTube name. I think it's fantastic. But I think the way they put it with circumstance, not just chalking it up to weather, not just one thing. It's kind of the combination of everything. It's the Jets defense is really fucking good. And it's the fact that nobody could really gain any footing the fact that the Broncos had injuries on the O-line, although shit, Palzewski, he looks better than Mike McFlinchy right now. So I'll take it. It costs a lot less too, but it just kind of seems like the perfect storm of stuff. And the offense, it hasn't moved well, even against the Buccaneers. It moved well, but that was also because they were going up against more subpar competition on the defensive line, and not having Antoine Winfield Jr. We could have had legacy versus legacy in Pat Surtain versus Antoine Winfield, battle of the early 2000s cornerbacks. But so the Broncos got very lucky that they could build confidence and momentum against Tampa Bay, and then they hit the wet brick wall that was the Jets defense, but it's also just kind of that game. So I wouldn't put, honestly, sadly, I don't know how much stock we can put in either of those games, because at the end of the day, there was a lot of situations that the Broncos were able to come out of the right side on. The ball bounced their way to an extent, and let's pray it happens again next week against the Raiders.
I mean, Joe, you said, they built confidence in the last game, but then doesn't this take away your confidence in this game? Because, we could only do it against backups, but we still were able to move the ball. Oh, crap, it was bad weather. So now every bad weather game has to be 60 passing yards and 120. They didn't get 200 yards of total offense.
But it wasn't just the weather. It was also the Jets defense. So, if you're going into a game where it's really bad and you're also going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL right now, then that's you're right. It probably will hurt their confidence to an extent. I feel like coming out with a win helps you almost put the blinders on to a lot of those mistakes, which can end up being a problem. But I think it will end up hurting their confidence to an extent, but it boosts the defense's confidence ridiculously. And when every press conference, Sean Payton gets pissed off about them asking whether Bo Nix is confident or not. So he even said in this one, I want to send all of you out to dinner with Bo Nix so you can stop asking this confidence question. So I'm in. I would like to go.
Is Sean buying? Because I'll go.
I don't care. We'll go to Taco Bell. I don't give a fuck.
Shanahan's.
Shanahan's is right down the street from my work, my hotel. So I'll see you there. I'll see you there, Bo.
Yeah, sounds great. It's also
DMs are open. You can DM me anytime late at night, Sean. Instead of going out for sushi, just DM me about a dinner at Shanahan's. All right?
Yeah, I'll bring the lattes.
Let's get that cut for later with no context.
Absolutely not,
Sean. You can DM me all you want. Ooh,
yes,
let's tap the brakes there, guy.
Just sliding into them hands.
Real quick, Beatty. The last I checked, it was about 2 hours ago, and that was about an hour ago. Beatty does have feeling in all his extremities. No confirmation on if he's coming back to Denver tonight with the team. I would assume probably not. So he'll probably be back in Denver in the next couple days.
Yeah, Peyton took issue with a reporter asking him about that, if Beatty was going to make it on the plane, and he's like, no, I don't talk about injuries. He was kind of getting, and you could hear, I actually saved the clip of them just kind of going back and forth in case they wanted to use it at the station, because it was just awkward. It was Troy Rank, I'm pretty sure, or Kliss, but it was like, I just want to find out if he's going to go on the plane with you or not. And then Peyton's like, I don't want to talk about injuries at all. So there seems to be some testiness around that. So I'm just
no, that's Sean Payton.
Yeah, it's also
I think that's a lot of coaches. You get a guy carted off the field, and you don't want to say anything, because who knows if, probably his family knows because he's a rookie and they're probably watching every game.
Yeah.
But you still don't want to say anything if everyone hasn't been notified. Yeah. I don't blame him in a post game for having that response.
Well, he's probably not going to know anything anyway. He probably hasn't had time to sit down and
that's probably true.
Get info from whatever PR rep is at whatever hospital with him.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like, it's a fair question, but it's also a fair answer, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're going to get a short answer.
Yeah, because how many? When I think about it, how many people were asking the coaches of either Buffalo or Cincinnati 2 years ago about DeMar, like
Hamlin.
in their press conferences, is DeMar going home with you guys? I mean, I know it's a little bit different. They had the ambulance come out and everything, but he was still on a bodyboard, not moving. Not really moving.
I mean,
but there was also CPR involved in that too.
Yeah, to be fair, I think in that game, we all knew he wasn't going home on the plane. He was staying in the hospital for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was still plenty of DeMar Hamlin-related questions. But also, I don't remember, did they do a post-game press? Because the game got postponed. Did they do a press conference? Or did everyone just try to get to the hospital? Because Stephon Diggs had to get like an Uber to get down to the hospital.
They kind of did, but it was just a quick I'm not going to answer a whole lot of questions because I want to go be with my player.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I like I said, and they probably were like, any update? No. I said, oh, let's go. Yeah, so I don't, like I said, I don't have a big thing against that. I can understand that moment and not wanting to go over, because like I said, maybe there is something and people weren't able to get informed of what happened.
Yeah,
that's it's just,
well, you don't want to blindside anybody with information either, and we've seen
or
it
give wrong information.
Yeah, and we've seen it before on both sides where either bad information comes out or you notify people too soon, and it has a dramatic effect on somebody's family. So, it's better to just not say anything at that point.
Yeah, that's why we have HIPAA laws.
Well, I mean,
that's what Sean Payne should have said. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask
I'm not going to violate his HIPAA rights. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of, not answering anything, do you think anybody listened to us on Saturday?
Probably. I don't know.
I feel like we Colin and I, we told everybody.
Not me.
This is, well, we know you don't participate, so this is one of those times. Throw money down on the Buffs.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, me and you. I know. Me and you both hit both. I mean, hitting the spread and the just the straight up win money line, and you got it at 450. I had it at 425. I mean, still either way, it's a nice.
It didn't matter.
Just for the
I had a boost
for both of them.
I had a boost.
Oh, you had a boost? That's how you got it at 450? Damn.
Yeah.
I probably had one and I didn't see it.
Mine was in Fanatics, so I just signed up for it.
Oh, is Trubisky in? Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Mitchie Tribs?
So stupid.
Oh, everybody's favorite back.
Man, put Josh Allen in to run it in from the 1 yard line. God damn it! I almost had a really huge
from the 1 yard line too.
See, that's what happens.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if Trubisky can do it. It needs to be Josh damn Allen. Oh my god!
And
if Saquon Barkley had gotten a touchdown today, those would have been even bigger. Like that would have been like $3,000.
Jeez,
that sounds good.
That was the only thing I missed was Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I saw that.
9 leg, I think it was. Yeah, whatever. Nobody was listening to us about the Buffs, and there is that just momentum that you can't replicate. You can't gauge it how much is going to play into the game. But me and you, Nick, I guess had the feeling that they were going to go into this game as big dogs and feel really slighted by that, unlike how they went into Oregon last year. And that was my worry. But when it's after the start of the game, it was like, okay, they're ready. They're ready.
They're ready to go.
This is it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I took it the same time you did when we were still recording the show. But you had a feeling, especially when Prime said that they were going to fly out a day earlier to beat the storm. And so you're staying in a hotel. I mean, we've all stayed in hotels. When you do that, your focus is solely on whatever you're doing wherever you are. So like,
rain.
If you go on vacation and you're staying in the hotel, you're focused on the vacation and nothing else and looking outside at the rain.
See, that's your problem right there.
Rain.
Meteorologist?
I mean, we had rain in both of these games. That's why the title of it is Rain, Don't Go Away. Because, I mean, maybe that's just a winning formula. I mean, the Broncos and the Buffs need to play in the rain.
Hey, it doesn't
Rain
take
team.
me to
Last
win,
week, the
Colin.
rain for the Buffs. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
So what's the weather like? Is there any rain in December coming? I was thoroughly impressed with. I was thoroughly snow. I was thoroughly impressed with the Buffs this weekend. That was dominant. It really was.
That was a good all-around game.
I was gonna get on and make another bet after they scored that first touchdown, and then UCF came back and tied it up. I was like, oh, maybe the line is still like pretty big for the Buffs to lose this game, and it wasn't. I was hoping that once UCF came back and tied it up, that it was going to be okay. The Buffs are going to lose this game. There's UCF, and they're not going to do anything. But I think the bookmakers saw the fact that the Buffs were ready for this game, and they were still dogs at that point, but it was only like plus 175, so not even worth it. I mean, not that it wasn't worth it, but if they did get blown out, it would just been doubling down on a possible loss. So it was, the defense played good. Travis Hunter played great again. His Heisman pose. Woo, man, he gets that pick and goes to the end zone. That is, I mean, that's going to be sent to every single Heisman voter. It probably already has been sent out. It probably got sent out Saturday night before those guys were on the plane back to Colorado, because that was golden. It was picture perfect. And now they have to go beat K-State, who beat a struggling Oklahoma State team this past weekend, but kind of ran all over them. Get 3 in a row. I mean, let's go streaking, Buffs.
There you go. Well, and I think too,
I would love it.
This Buffs team has a little bit different swagger about them now. I mean, last year when they hit their winning streak, it was early, and it didn't seem like they really earned it, I guess. And so now they're fighting for, I mean, they're fighting for a lot. They're fighting for their pride. They're fighting for a bowl game. They're fighting to show that they belong with the big dogs. And I mean, I'm kind of irritated that it took moving to play different teams that are much better for you to show us the better version of yourself. But like, keep bringing that team out. You can dominate the NCAA. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go play for a championship, but you can make some waves here in the next couple of years.
I mean, next couple of years, that depends on them getting a quarterback after Shedeur, which isn't impossible. I think Colin and I were joking about them getting Dylan Raiola to transfer over from Nebraska as soon as Shedeur's done. Or, it's Colin's favorite concept for the Broncos, so might as well just do it for CU also. Future CU quarterback, Braden Fowler.
I'm going to mute you. I'm muting you.
Oh, God.
Does he have any eligibility left? Can he do it? I don't know.
I'm sure Dion and all the lawyers could figure something out somewhere. I heard CU has a pretty good law school. But I just, can they get somebody there? Well, the best way to get people into your program is, one, have your coach stay and some consistency there. 2 is to win and consistently win and put yourself on that national title stage. And I'm not saying that they're in the national title stage. I'm not going that far to say that they shouldn't even be ranked yet. In all honesty, I mean, they beat UCF, who was they looked like a better team than what CU. Maybe CU just made them look really bad, but they were the better team, or more talented team. Excuse me. If you go out and beat K-State, then let's talk about getting them in the top 25 and into the rankings. That's what you need to do. You need that momentum going in and to continue to ride this. Now, they're going to be underdogs next weekend, of course, because K-State has proven more. It's hard to believe that K-State is like good. But
They're going to flip.
If you go out and do that, then let's talk about them getting in the rankings. But that's how you get people to continuously come to your program year after year after year, is you build a tradition of winning and you start winning. And then you get guys drafted. We've talked about this. You get guys drafted in the NFL. Hey, we're going to get you pro ready. You have the Heisman Trophy winner from your school. It's going to help get some eyes on you. Even finalists, much less 2 possible Heisman Trophy winners. So yeah, the Buffs need to keep winning to keep the hopes of Shedeur and Travis Hunter alive as far as the Heisman goes, and keep recruiting strong. Because if you can get these guys to that level, then the players who are coming into college football, not only do they know that they're going to have some money coming their way NIL wise, but they're going to have money from the NFL one day.
Thank you everybody for tuning in, by the way. Thank you to my brother that's joining in on the chat here, saying they're going to flip Julian Lewis from USC. So,
Sure.
I mean, everybody can dream, but you never know. I mean, hey, maybe they'll try and flip Arch Manning.
I would love that, but I mean,
I think
if there's a team
Arch Manning is not leaving Texas after last year or the last 2 games,
last 2 weeks.
No, because he's going to win all these national championships. The only way would be if there was some other guy that got brought in to compete with him or some shit. But there's nobody else. Yeah, no, there's no way. There's just no way. I'm trying to think of like some kind of transfer situation where he'd got, but who would they bring in? They have Arch Manning. They're not going to bring in anybody. Yeah.
They're not bringing in anybody to compete with Arch Manning.
No, they don't need to. Even if like some backup kid came in and kicked ass, like a Jalen Hurts situation, he's not the Jalen Hurts. He's the Tua.
And this is one of the opportunities that the CU Buffs have right now, is because in a school like Texas that is going to be in a national championship conversation, they're going to have their quarterback at least one more year after this. So you're talking to these incoming freshmen, these young quarterbacks. Hey, you're not going to get a chance to play there for 2 years. You get a chance to play here right away. Texas definitely has a better tradition. I want to say even at Alabama, I believe their quarterback is he a sophomore or is he a junior? Yeah, maybe. I think he might be a junior.
I'm not sure.
But they have 2. Did you know that their freshman wide receiver is 17 years old? That kid, I think it was Williams, who made that unbelievable catch that off his hands, caught it, turned around, 360'd, whatever. He's 17. That's what I saw. I didn't fact check it, but it was up there, 17.
That's just Alabama, man. I believe it.
We were talking about it at the beginning of the season too. Can you imagine being 18 years old and making what these guys are making in just NIL money? Can you imagine yourself at that age making that kind of money playing sports and going to school?
Yeah.
Having
everything spoon fed to you.
Yeah.
I would have had so many video games.
Sports physical therapy. That's going to be my major. Not. And don't get me wrong. I love trainers and all that, but come on, we all know why you picked that.
My guy Clayton, there he is. Long time no see. But thinking like when I was 18, I didn't I was into sports, but I didn't even enjoy a lot of the same things I enjoy today. Like I couldn't even say, man, I would have bought so many Yu-Gi-Oh cards. No, I hadn't even gotten back into Yu-Gi-Oh then. I don't even know what the fuck I'd have spent that money on. I guess a car? That's stupid.
Who needs a car?
Yeah,
you're 18. Who cares?
Yeah, I would have got the GTO from Triple X.
I want to see that prime commitment. I want to see how long he really sticks around here, because I'm not trying to take away from Prime, but I have a hard time believing he's sticking around much longer than maybe next year at the most.
I think it's trending more and more that he sticks around just because of the success. I think if they kept losing and kept just fucking shit up and everyone kept talking shit, and the Paul Feinbaums of the world, and would get proven right. Especially, I don't know if Dion would be willing to endure all of that. I think he would potentially just take out and be like, "Fuck it, y'all don't want me here anyway, so why would I stick around?" I could even see CU moving on from him because they don't have an option. They're not winning. They're not bringing stuff in. Like, what's going on? But he's kind of proving himself right now. And I think he wants to keep doing it. He wants to prove that he can do it without his kids, I think.
Well, I highly doubt that Deion Sanders is saying fuck it. I'm betting against that. So we can go ahead and nip that one in the butt.
He's like, love it.
I think that if he does make a commitment to stay, he is staying for multiple years, not just one, because I think he understands that, especially after a season like last year, they weren't ready, and it took him a while to get some of these guys acclimated to playing in this conference at this level. And I believe he understands a little bit better what it takes to win at this level of college football in comparison to Jackson State. Nothing wrong with Jackson State and what he did there, but it takes a little bit more. So I say he would stay a few more years, probably 3, to get a incoming freshman class, at least to a draft. That would be my guess, unless he just cuts all the media off and pisses everyone off at some point, and then forced out. But I would say
never.
I would say that if he does stay after this year and the kids are gone, they're in the NFL. One's in the NFL. That he's staying for a few more years. But his daughter is also still there. She's only a sophomore, I believe.
Yeah. Last year was her freshman year. So
yeah. So he, 2 years I think is kind of a minimum, but I think he would stay 3 years through this next round of at least incoming freshmen. That's my gut feeling. Maybe it's just his daughter staying there and it's only 2 years, but I think that what he preaches as far as being a father figure, he would want to at least follow through with another recruiting class after his kids to show people that he can do it and, stroke that ego.
As much of a pain in the ass as he can be, he is a man that is very particular about making sure he maintains his word. And I think if he says he's not going to go anywhere for a couple of years, then I think he'll commit to that, just because, again, he wants to make sure they honor, or he honors his word.
Yeah, he wants to show that he's been right the whole time.
That's probably more of what it is than anything else.
Yeah, learning and growing are not important things. I was right the whole time.
Look at that. We got some chat going.
Yeah.
We got some audience participation. I like that. Clayton, welcome back. I wouldn't go that far as a No-Fly Zone Part 2 yet. Let that kind of grow itself a little bit more. I know it's exciting, but let's water those plants a little bit more first.
Yeah, it's at best limited airspace.
Yes.
You've entered restricted airspace.
And Matt, I swear to God, I thought for a minute there you were saying shalom. And I was going to ask why you were speaking Hebrew.
Shalom.
Shabbat.
Yep.
Yes.
No, there's all my history of working in synagogues from being a kid. Manischewitz and Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, good for you. I understood none of that.
I don't know what it means besides Manischewitz is wine. That's
Hey, I do speak potato pancake though.
Latke. Yeah, latke. Okay.
Oh, love me a good latke. I had a teacher in middle school who was Jewish, and he brought in latkes one day for, I don't remember what Jewish holiday it was. And man, let me tell you,
latkes.
He didn't
have sour cream on there.
Yep. Yeah, he didn't have any left for the rest of the classes. Like we were his second period, and we ate like most. I think he had like 3 left. We're like,
that's awesome.
Don't care.
No remorse.
No.
No rumors. 209 total yards for Derrick Henry tonight, huh? 2 tutties.
He's pretty good.
So I meant to ask this. We talked about it when we did the victory formation. How I wasn't sure if the Ravens are real. I don't like
Birds aren't
the
real.
first part of the season because I don't know who's real and who's not. I don't know who's real anymore. I don't know who's just playing a good role right now. I mean, without the preseason to really judge these teams, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that the Ravens, the Eagles, the Cardinals, Falcons,
Yeah.
They're all not real because they're birds.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, you're right, kind of right. Like Buffalo was touted as the best team in the league, and I didn't buy that. And that was a storyline coming out from before this game, how the Ravens players weren't buying it. Buffalo was the best team in the league. Like they're one of the best teams that had an undefeated record, but there's too many holes in that offense and defense, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy.
I think, this season has been more unpredictable than others in the past.
Yeah.
There's always like one or two teams out there that don't meet expectations and fall flat on their face early on. And then there's always the one or two that kind of surprise you. I mean, look at Houston last year, and even the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, who started the season off really great and then fell flat on their face at the end of the year, which you didn't quite expect to happen. But this year it's been way more of, the Cincinnati Bengals suck. Well,
the Houston Texans
Washington
suck.
Commanders are good. The Texans suck. The Jaguars suck. I mean, the damn Giants almost had 2 wins.
Pittsburgh was undefeated until this week.
Like, the Vikings are still undefeated.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to have a rookie quarterback. The Panthers got to win technically before the Broncos.
Wow.
The Colts are bad. The Steelers were 3-0, yeah, until this week. The Bears have won their 3rd game, I think. Yeah, right? 3rd game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. I mean, I really don't. And then you have, like I said, the upsets that have happened. Baltimore loses in a weird way. The Chiefs barely beat the Chargers. It's been
for you. Bless you.
Whew.
I could not. I could not mute.
That's okay.
During our victory formation, nice. I had a hard time believing in Baltimore because the only team they beat was a Cowboys team that had done absolutely nothing in the offseason.
Yeah.
Hell, you could probably put the Broncos in front of the Cowboys at this point, and the Broncos would probably walk out with a win. I mean,
I was a little bit surprised by the Cowboys taking as far of a step back as they took, but I feel like we all knew they were going to take a step back, like going from Pollard back to Zeke Elliott. Are you kidding me? And losing Dan Quinn is a much bigger loss than I think anybody is willing to admit. Like that defense does not even look close to the same. And it's pretty much the same guys as far as I can remember. There might be one or two that
they lost their cornerbacks. They lost 2 cornerbacks to injuries in the preseason.
Okay, but they still have Trayvon Diggs, right?
No, Diggs is out.
Diggs is out. Okay, yeah. So then maybe it is a combination of personnel and the coach, but I feel like the coach could have covered up some of those personnel losses too. So I'm just like, man, that loss of Dan Quinn I think was bigger than we expected. But yeah, losing your cornerbacks also makes it pretty hard to stop the pass.
Yeah, Diggs had an ACL injury. Or no.
I thought he had an ACL injury last year. Is he just still? Maybe he's not back from the ACL. That could just be it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to.
Because Chubb's still not back from his ACL. Hawkinson's not back from his, so that makes sense. He's just still out with the same ACL tear. It's too bad because the Cowboys was that defense. Like everybody in fantasy, they were overdrafting that. That was the defense to take. If you were in a fantasy draft and someone took a defense before the second to last pick, it was probably the Cowboys.
Diggs got hurt on Thursday night. That's what it was.
Okay.
And then earlier this year, their other cornerback, got hurt in the preseason too. I can't remember his name, but their other starting cornerback was injured earlier in the preseason.
Damn, that hurts.
Hmm.
And their offensive line isn't as good without Tyron Smith. Like it's all kind of falling apart, and you wonder, what Jerry Jones has been thinking.
Yeah.
Deron Bland is out for them,
God.
and then Khalil Carson is their other cornerback. So their cornerbacks have gotten beat up. Bland is out 6 to 8 weeks because of a stress fracture.
Damn.
And that was in the preseason, or at the end of the preseason. But yeah, they're injury riddled, and this is one thing we talked about earlier in this, like throughout this the first few weeks, is that these injuries are happening at a breakneck pace for these guys, and then we see Rashee Rice today go down, as I said,
because they're breaking their necks.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully,
yeah. Yeah, let's avoid the neck breaking.
That's an injury. Get it, guys?
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. Hopefully they're not Busta Rhymesing it. Okay.
Yes.
They're just busting some other injuries.
Just protect your neck out there, folks.
Yes.
So sometimes you got to put your neck out.
Yeah. That's what Dick Monfort did today when he stepped out there to give Charlie Blackmon his gift.
What was it? I did not see.
Oh, it's going to be so Colorado Rockies. You're going to love it. It was a framed portrait of Charlie to commemorate his final game.
Cool.
It was a framed print of Charlie Blackmon to commemorate his final game.
They didn't even get him any beard oil or a razor?
No.
It's like, have you guys seen Blazing Saddles?
Oh, yeah.
When the sheriff comes into the town for the very first time, and the guy says, "I'd like to offer you a laurel and a hearty handshake." Like that's it. That's all we get. I'm not going to get into the other connotations of that movie, but like that's it. He got a laurel and a hearty handshake. That feels.
It was
very
stupid.
Colorado Rockies,
and he got a warm reception though. That's for sure. The second they announced him, oh, it was booze all around. I think even Dodger fans were booing him.
Good.
They should be cheering him.
I was just saying,
right? I don't know.
Although credit to the Dodger fans that did stick around afterwards, after the game, to kind of send Charlie and the Rockies off. I think it was mostly for Charlie, but credit to the Dodger fans that were classy enough to stick around and give Charlie his moment.
They're as much crap as we give Dodgers fans. At least they're one of those groups that does know baseball too, though.
Yeah, there's
a lot of them do. And I told you my story about when I was out there watching, and I went out to the Dodgers game, and there was a guy who sent me a whole gift package of all Colorado Rockies inaugural year stuff. I mean, ticket stubs, player pins, player cards, all of the game day, not all the game day, but the monthly game pamphlet, magazine. Whatever, Rockies magazine. And so, like Dodgers fans, they can be loud and obnoxious, but a lot of them do know baseball too.
Yeah.
And because they're a historic franchise. So
yeah,
most of them understand and respect the game enough to know that a guy that they've seen playing against them for 14 years, I mean, they're probably cheering because he's finally gone, because he's killed the Dodgers sometimes too. But it's it's cool to know that they were there and hanging out.
Yeah, I appreciated it. And all attention turns to the Mets and the Braves tomorrow. We still have 3 teams that need to settle 2 wild card spots, and the Mets will travel to Atlanta to play a doubleheader tomorrow. I'm kind of excited to watch those 2 games. That's going to be crazy.
You know what, Nick?
What's that, Colin?
I'm really glad you're excited to watch those games, because I'm even more excited to pick them.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. least, featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else.
Now,
And Joe Good just kind of winging it.
This is the victory formation, and yes, one or two of the teams could possibly be standing on top after tomorrow in the Mets and Braves that Nick was saying. Nick, before we get into the pick'em, but why are you excited to watch these two games?
because it's like game 163 all over again. Only it's going to be 161 and 162. But you know the Mets and the Braves are both going to come out. They're going to throw everything they have because you got to make the dance before you can worry about putting your lineup together for the dance. And by the way, speaking of dance, it was the final dance today. I want to give congratulations to Joe Castiglione, the longtime voice of the Boston Red Sox, signed off for the final time today. So two Northeast teams with very storied broadcasters have retired this year. Joe Castiglione and John Sterling.
Wow.
Who is actually going to do the playoffs for the Yankees.
Well, that's cool. That's cool that he's
So it's nice to hear John Sterling back. So
it's
to get those in there real quick.
I know. We had to get into the victory formation because, like I said, we are picking these games. So, Nick, with that being said, in this victory formation, we're gonna have to recap these last three games that we chose. Well, things did not go well for one of us, going 0-3.
I feel like
Things went okay for the other one of us, went 2-1 or 1-2.
But there's three.
Things went better for the third person, going 2-1. Let's talk about who won what. As the Ravens just defeated the Bills, well, not just, the game just went final. I was the only one to choose that one correctly, so Ravens were favored at -135, so I won 17-41 on that. Nick and Joe, good job picking the Bills there.
Thanks, buddy.
We move on to the Royals versus the Braves, who will be picking. Well, see if anyone picks them in this next one. Nick and I both picked the Braves to win the game tonight, and we were wrong.
Oof.
That means Joe got the Royals correct. He is Lord Royal right now, and he won $31 because they were big dogs at +210.
Yeah, that's not good.
The last one we chose was the Penguins versus the Senators, and the Senators at home lost to the Penguins. So that means Nick and I both got that wrong. Joe gets it correct, choosing the Penguins, winning $18 on that one. Joe, big winner of the week, winning $39, bringing you back over the $600 mark at $608.53. Nick, with your $30 loss, you were still in first, but at $645.91. And I'm still over the $600 mark. I lost $2.59, but I'm at $601.18. So let's get into our real bets with the fake
Real
money.
bets. Not
First
fake.
thing we're going to do is game one tomorrow, Mets Braves. It's 11:10 a.m. Mountain Time. Mets are underdogs at +130 in Hotlanta. Nick, who you got?
Mets coming off a win today. I think, we just heard the Braves coming off a loss. Mets have a lot more to fight for. I think the Mets take the first one. The Bravos take the second one.
Well, damn it, Nick. We're not on to the second one yet. So why don't you just hold your horses?
Yeah, we're not at Cincinnati yet.
All right, Joe, who you got in game one?
We're on to Cincinnati. I will take Grimace.
Oh no. We're sweeping the Mets in game one. Well, all right. Well, let's just move on first. Let's move on to Thursday or Monday Night Football, game one. Dolphins versus the Seahawks. Dolphins versus the Titans. Excuse me. Dolphins, Seahawks. Dolphins.
That's a big difference.
Dolphins versus the Titans. Dolphins are still favorites at -145. Titans at +125. Looks like Tyler Huntley is in the saddle for the Dolphins. And Mr. Mailman is still doing something in Tennessee. Hopefully he's in Miami. But, Joe, who you got?
Fuck. Can I go with neither? I would
sure. Joe loses $10.
Joe loses $10. I'll take the tie. Thanks. Let's go. I hate all of this, Titans.
Joe is taking the Titans. I am struggling with this whole thing too because this game does suck, but I'm just going to go with the home team Dolphins and hoping they make less mistakes than the Titans do. Nick, who you got?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
What is going on with your mic, Nick?
I don't know. I said I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
That's what was wrong. Nick agreed. Might cut out.
Agreeing with Colin. I was like, damn it, he said everything I was going to say.
Okay, you were cutting in and out, right, Joe, or is it just me?
It was quiet. He may have just turned away from the mic because sometimes that's all it takes. But yeah, it was quiet.
Okay. I'm glad it wasn't just
My
me.
bad.
Well, let's move on to the second Monday Night Football game. By the way, are we a fan of this or not?
Yes.
Because now we don't have to watch the Titans Dolphins.
I think that's the only reason why is if the first one's bad, I at least have a second chance because my only other option until hockey and basketball start is wrestling.
Okay.
I was gonna say we haven't revived the lose bad yet this year. I was like, that's a perfect game, but we're already picking it. So
no, we will discuss.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
All right, we do have the second Monday Night Football game: Seahawks versus Lions. This one's in Detroit. Seahawks. I mean, Geno Smith looking pretty good.
Drew Lock starting. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, wrong team. Sorry. Never mind. I'm a year behind.
That's true.
I'm a year behind.
He's
he won't
in New
be
York.
in this game.
He will be starting eventually. I mean, I don't know if the Giants keep playing well. He might not be. But the Lions at home
is the starter.
It looks like Kenneth Walker is back in the saddle. Well, back in the saddle again. I use the same thing twice. Bad on me.
You can ride a Seahawk with the saddle. Probably.
The Seahawks have Kenneth Walker back. The Lions, it looks like Sam Laporta is playing. Yep. Their offensive line, I think they still have their one injury. But either way, it's in Detroit, and I am taking the Lions. Nick, who you got?
I'm going to throw the dice for the Seahawks.
Nick is going with the Seahawks, his favorite team in the Pacific Northwest.
We've all
Joe
heard him say that, yes. Well, unlike Nick, I don't consider myself a Seahawks fan, so I'll take the Lions.
Now we'll move on to game 2 of baseball since Nick already picked the Braves. So, Joe, who you got in game 2 of Mets Braves?
I was going to say, who's playing? So it's like they just happened to play a series at the end of
it's a doubleheader. They had to fix a rain out from the hurricane.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Grimace.
He's taking
the Metropolitan.
The Mets. And you know what? I think the Mets sweep this also, and the Arizona Diamondbacks get into the playoffs. Thank you to the Braves losing 3 straight to wrap up the season.
I don't think the Braves can do that, but you do you.
I just picked it, so I am.
You do you.
Last game of the week is Thursday Night Football that we'll have before our next broadcast. Bucks versus Falcons. Hotlanta just looking pretty damn good after their beatdown today of New Orleans, who was the other one of the hottest teams in the NFL until last
the other
week.
Hotlanta.
Falcons favored -135. Bucks and Baker Mayfield after throwing for 327, getting slighted as underdogs at +115. Joe, who you got?
I mean, I don't know if it's them being slighted. They still have injury problems. The Falcons are just, trending upward every week. Tampa.
Wow.
Joe loves Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I need Drake London to do something, so give me the Falcons. I have no more damn wide receivers. Damn it, Bobby.
Don't ask me to trade. Ask Joe how that worked out.
Gosh, dang it, bummer.
Nick, who you got?
Dirty Birds.
Dirty Birds. Oh, look, does like birds.
He does like birds.
Well, speaking of birds, let's go feed the ducks and wrap this thing up.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, thank you everybody we have audience participation tonight. Jeez. All of a sudden we get to the end, none of us can talk. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Michael Spillin and everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us, and to our wonderful sponsor, Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Check them out. They got some good deals going on. They got a show coming up, I believe, as well. And it's the best time of year. It's October, which means playoff baseball, hockey.
It's one day to my birthday, and that's
football.
the best time of year.
Sure.
It's 2 hours.
I get no benefit out of it.
2 hours, 15 minutes.
I get no benefit out of it, so,
I'll give you something to unwrap.
Colin's got a present for you.
You heard of Lorena Bobbitt? I got the knife collection to take care of you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. For Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. Before we go really off the rails, this is Undrafted Uncensored. Tune in next time when we continue to talk sports. Love you guys. Bye.
There was
Thanks,
never
everybody. Stay safe. Charlie Blackman!